Hello, everybody, and welcome back to our weekly series. Tonight's installment, The Six Wives of Henry VIII. Our story begins in the year 1501. The young Spanish princess Catherine of Aragon has set foot upon the shores of England to be married to the future king, accompanied by her ladies-in-waiting.
This is the last time I plunk myself down the channel to wait out a storm. I'm not going to be able to eat for a week. What is this place?
Why, England, of course, Your Highness, the home of your future subjects. I've been reading the travel guide. Listen, this sceptered isle, this earth of majesty, this other Eden, demi-paradise, this little world, this precious stone set in the silver sea.
Yuck. I'm standing in 6 inches of mud.
It's not sunny Spain, that's for sure.
Welcome, my lady, to our green and pleasant land.
You must be joking. Doesn't the rain ever let up around here? What's going on over there?
A joust, Highness, in your honor. Your financier, Arthur, Prince of Wales, has arranged it specially. I have been sent to accompany you to the tournament.
Well, that sounds fun at any rate. Lead the way.
Take that, you wit!
And the match goes to His Highness the Prince.
Yes! Victory lap!
Wow, did you see that?
How could I miss those bulging muscles, that hulking physique? This might be so bad after all.
Oh, my lady, that's not Arthur, Prince of Wales.
It's not?
No, that's Henry second in line to the throne.
Too bad.
Shoot. Well, they're brothers, right? How different can they be?
There's no difference at all. Prince Arthur cuts us dashing the figure as his brother. That's what I always say.
Hubba. Where is he?
There in Royal Pavilion.
Where?
What? On the royal couch!
That skinny little kid?
Did you ever see such a fine specimen of a man?
He looks about 9.
He is 17, madam.
Is he okay? He looks unnaturally pale.
He's a late bloomer. He'll grow out of it.
He sure doesn't sound okay. Sounds to me like he's got TB.
Slight allergy. Nothing to worry about, Catherine. Come on, it's time for your wedding.
So soon? Well, great. Oh no. I seem to have left my mantilla back at home. I'll sit back to Grandia and get it, and I'll be right back. And if I'm not, well, it's been fun.
Alas, my lady, the ship for Spain left half an hour ago.
Shoot.
And so, Catherine of Aragon married Arthur, Prince of Wales. A year later, Arthur was dead. So, Catherine married Prince Henry after all, and the two became King and Queen of England. They had many children, only one of whom survived infancy, a daughter, Mary. The king and queen lived in peace and harmony for 25 years as Henry ruled the country. You may have heard of some of his political advisors and the role they played in Henry's marriages and divorces. Cardinal Wolsey, Sir Thomas More, Thomas Cromwell. What you may not know is that the only man Henry wholly trusted was a lowly groom named Grimsby. Take my word for it, Grimsby was Henry's true right-hand man, and the only one to not commit political suicide during the monarch's reign.
Grimsby, I sent for you on an important matter of state.
Anything I can do to help. What is it, Your Majesty?
I'm having the most awful dreams.
I keep telling you to lay off the kidney pie so close to bedtime. Was it the one about invading France?
No, not that one. Get this. I dreamed I was skipping through a flower-filled meadow with Her Majesty the Queen. The sun shone, romantic music played. We held hands and smiled meaningfully into each other's eyes. I was gazing lovingly at that adorable chipmunk face, thinking of how happy we were. And then, suddenly, the chipmunk turned into Medusa, had of snakes the whole 9 yards. The snakes wrapped around me, choking me. I knew I was going to die. It was horrible. I was such a state of panic. I woke up with my heart pounding so hard it took 3 bowls of Yorkshire pudding to calm me down.
Huh.
What do you think it means?
What do you think it means?
I'm serious. You're my best friend. I value your judgment.
Well, just remember, you asked for it. You know, you just turned 40.
So what?
So, you're King of England. You have the world at your feet. Do you think maybe you're getting a little bored?
That's crazy.
I knew you'd take it that way.
Listen, Pat, the problem is not with me.
Uh-huh. And I don't suppose this would have anything to do with that spare tire you're carrying around.
Oh, don't be ridiculous. I'm a monarch. A few extra pounds make me look regal.
You're kidding. Who told you that?
Anne Boleyn.
I noticed you've been spending a lot of time with her lately.
We have a Bible study together.
Bible study. Wow, really?
I'm going to ignore your tone. Anyway, Anne showed me in the book of Leviticus where it says a marriage between a man and his brother's wife is unclean. It's all too true. Catherine is incapable of giving me kids. It's God's judgment upon unholy union.
But your majesty, you have a child. Your daughter, Mary, remember?
Oh, sure. Like a daughter could rule all of England.
Okay, you have a point.
No, Leviticus obviously meant sons. I'll never have sons with my brother's wife, don't you see? The line of succession must continue, and Boleyn will give me sons. Grimsby, I've got to ditch the chipmunk.
Huh?
I need a divorce.
You can't just divorce the queen and marry some random girl.
Give me one good reason.
You'll destroy your alliance with the queen's nephew, the Holy Roman Emperor.
Insufferable young whippersnapper. Good riddance.
Anne Boleyn's calm.
Do the royal bloodline some good. Too much inbreeding, you know.
You're Catholic, for goodness sake.
I've thought of that too. I'll start my own church. Been wanting to do that for years.
I don't believe this.
And you're going to help me. First, go see Anne Boleyn and pledge to her my undying love and fidelity. And second, find the queen, pack her off to some convent, preferably one in northern Wales. Then, third, send a raspberry to the Pope for me. That is all, Grimsby. Report back to me in the morning.
Just what I needed. A monarch with a middle-life crisis.
Henry's faithful servant dutifully set out upon the king's errands. Unfortunately for Henry, convincing Catherine of Aragon that she wasn't queen proved more difficult than expected.
North Wales? If he thinks I'm going there, he's got another thing coming.
It's not so bad, my lady. I've been empowered to give you the title of Princess Dowager.
What's a dowager?
I don't know.
Oh, brother. There's a dictionary over there on the shelf.
Here we are. A dowager. A widow who holds a title or property derived from her deceased husband.
But I'm not a widow.
Alternatively, an elderly woman of high station.
Elderly? I'll show him.
Queen Catherine was as good as her word. No matter what Henry tried, she refused to agree to a divorce, and there were all too many among the English who agreed with her. It was all very discouraging to Anne Boleyn, who was tired of going out shopping only to be pelted with vegetables.
Honey, what's wrong? That's the 5th glass you smashed this week.
What do you think? You and I have been engaged for 5 years now. When are you going to stand up to her?
I thought I was.
The problem is your interpretation of standing up to her means getting into arguments that you can't possibly hope to win because your wife is just plain smarter than you are.
Oh, come on, that hurts.
We have been over this again and again and again. And each time have I not told you that whenever you get in an argument with the queen, she is bound to get the upper hand?
Maybe I should literally arm wrestle her for the divorce.
This is no time for joking, Henry. If we are not married in a few months, we're in trouble.
You mean?
That's right, dear. The royal nursery will finally have an occupant.
This is amazing.
And we just have to get married, or else the child won't be able to inherit the throne. Is there any way you can get Catherine to divorce you?
Wait a minute. I am king, right?
Right.
And head of the Church of England, right?
Right.
So as head of the church, why can't I simply grant myself a divorce?
I don't know.
I can and I will. I, Henry VIII, as head of the Church of England, do hereby declare my marriage to Catherine of Aragon null and void.
Hug me, darling!
Oh, Anne, what's that great scent you're wearing?
Essence of rotten tomato.
Oh, it's wonderful. Come on, let's get hitched.
Thus, glamorous Anne Boleyn became Queen of England, and shortly thereafter, mother to the Princess Elizabeth. Several more children followed, but none lived very long. The realm was still in danger of not having a male heir to the throne, and the king turned his attentions to the modest charms of a lady-in-waiting named Jane Seymour.
Some more roast beef, darling.
Thank you, my turtle dove. How about some more of those mashed potatoes?
Of course, my sweet. Open up.
Yum. Jane, you have my best interests at heart.
Here, wash it down with this blueberry pie a la mode. I know. But Henry dear, when are we going to get married? Here I am, stuffing you like a prize turkey, the way any good queen would, and yet I'm still an obscure lady in waiting.
Be patient, my love. I have a plan.
No offense, but I hope it's better than your last one.
What do you mean? That was a great plan.
You declare your first marriage invalid because your wife hasn't given you living sons. Not only that, but she refuses to be put away quietly and makes the biggest stink Europe has seen in generations. In order to get rid of her, you found your own church and grant yourself a divorce, thus risking war with Spain and seriously ticking off the Pope and the Holy Roman Emperor. Not to mention half of your own subjects who love Catherine and see your second queen as a greedy social climber. You manage to have another daughter, but still no sons, and in the meantime, you have to destroy scores of churches and monasteries because, of course, given your conversion, you can't allow Catholicism to flourish. All over the country, you have to squash papist rebellions. Fresh heads drip from the city walls daily. How am I doing so far?
Why do I always go for the smart girls? It really will be my downfall. I should have picked some airhead from the country.
Don't worry, you're not the first, and you won't be the last.
Case in point, that Boleyn witch I married. The whole business feels like a dream now. It was as if I was under a spell or something.
Witchcraft, that's it.
Beg your pardon?
Temporary insanity. During your first marriage, Anne Boleyn bewitched you into having an affair. You weren't responsible for your actions.
And I've only just recovered my wits.
Exactly. You finally come to your senses and you realize, hold on.
I realize that she's having an affair with somebody else. No, affairs plural. With every little creep who's ever come through here thinking he's better than he is.
Perfect. We'll make a list. And how about this? You also learned she's committed treason.
How?
Conspiracy to murder the king.
Oh, sweetheart.
Snooky, how about celebrating with a nice shepherd's pie?
Jane, of all the women I've known, you're the only one who really understands me.
So, this is where you've been all these weeks, Henry? Slurping up another woman's cooking? You vile lowlife. You make me sick!
You see, Jane, she just doesn't respect me.
I think I'll just see to that pineapple upside down cake I left in the oven.
Brazen hussy.
Charming as ever, aren't you?
Oh, Henry, I'm sorry I lost my temper. I just miss you so much. I haven't seen you in ages.
But you had a cold. I was being sensitive.
That was 3 months ago.
That long. My, how time flies.
You're not mad at me, are you? Just because we haven't had a son. After all, it's hardly my fault.
Well, it sure as heck isn't my fault. Everyone knows that the man doesn't determine the gender of the baby. That's your department.
You still love me?
Ah, sure, kid.
I'm so relieved. Let's have a late supper tonight. I'll make your favorite. Pickled boar wrapped around roasted heart of venison, gooseberry stuffing, and venison.
Oh, sounds great. Listen, Anne, I'm off hunting. Got to bet with the Duke of Norfolk as to who can bag the biggest pheasant. Can't be late.
My place, 9 o'clock.
See you, kid.
Anne Boleyn spent the rest of the day making sure the food and the wine were perfect, and when all was finally ready,
Come in, darling.
Hello, Your Majesty.
Oh, it's you. Where's Henry?
I have a warrant for your arrest.
Very funny. Set the table. The salad forks go on the outside.
Seriously, I'm here to arrest you.
Grimsby. My silly, insignificant Grimsby. Normally I wouldn't bother with a peon like you, but it just so happens that I am in a good mood today. All right, I'll bite. Arrested for what? My impeccable sense of fashion?
Queen Anne Boleyn of England, I arrest you on charges of adultery.
Oh, that is a good one. Who's the lucky man?
Men, plural.
How delightfully wicked of me. Read me their names.
Mark Smeaton.
The cute musician. I'm flattered. Wine glasses go on the right.
Sir Thomas Wyatt, Sir Francis Weston, Sir Henry Norris.
What a naughty man you are. I never imagined you having this much spunk. I am pleasantly surprised.
You're taking this well.
Of course I am. Never let it be said that Anne Boleyn lacks a sense of humor.
If this is any indication, you're gonna think this next bit is a real hoot. I hereby additionally arrest you for conspiracy to murder the king.
Conspiracy? Well, with whom? Oh, I get it. With all those men, right? Do you know you really ought to be promoted to court jester?
Nah, I'm a terrible liar.
What are you saying?
You better pack your bags, because you've got a one-way ticket to the tower.
Don't be ridiculous. I'm supposed to have committed adultery with all of these courtiers? When the heck am I supposed to have the time? What with having kids and keeping up a strenuous beauty regimen? Well, go on and ask those men. Not a bit of it's true.
They've all confessed, my lady.
What? How can that be? I want to speak with each of them immediately.
Impossible. They're recovering from the rack.
You tortured them?
Well, not me personally, but yeah.
No wonder they all confessed. Get out of my way. I've got to find the king. There's a conspiracy going on around here, all right? Now move. I've got to see Henry. He won't stand for this.
Oh, you're also charged with witchcraft.
I guess I'm supposed to be sticking pins into dolls. Who's the sick weasel behind this? Just wait till I get my hands on him. I'll have his head.
how's that for dramatic irony? Needless to say, Anne Boleyn's influence was slightly undermined by the fact that the sick weasel was Henry himself. The future looked rosy after that. Henry and Jane married, and the long-awaited son finally arrived and was named Edward. Needless to say, Henry was giddy.
I did it. I'm a manly man. I've justified my existence.
Unfortunately, good Queen Jane did not fare so well. Sanitary conditions being what they were during childbirth, she succumbed to a most disgusting infection.
Ew.
The king was inconsolable, and the court was plunged into mourning. The nobles went from their usual decadent pursuits to doing the weekly crossword puzzle.
From the French, 5-letter word for boredom.
Anyway, what a weird drug this morning business is.
You said it. When was the last time we had a decent ball or even a pleasant cruise on the Thames? How much longer do you think this will go on?
Dunno, as long as it takes for his nibs to want a wife again.
Don't count on that very soon. The royal sweatshop can barely hem the handkerchiefs before he needs them.
One thing I know is, if I'm gonna die, I don't want my social life back. What we need is a parade.
It is a little cold out, isn't it? Still, it might work. I'll organize the floats if you call the war veterans.
No, Lacey, it's not kind of that parade! We did have most delightful princes in Europe. You need to remind Henry that there are other fish in the sea.
Let's do it. I looked all washed out in black anyway.
And so the nobility hatched a plan to help its king find love again, but it was not destined to be easy, given the king's reputation as a husband, and the fact that the spare tire around his middle had increased so much as to resemble a personal flotation device. Still, the nobles thought it was worth a shot, and the English court headed for the continent to seek a new bride for its monarch. Welcome to The Dating Game in the 16th Century. I'm your host, Sir Jim Lang. Ladies and lords, we have a very special show for you today. Our guest is none other than the controversial figure, King Henry VIII of England, Europe's most eligible bachelor, or its greatest curse to womankind. We'll find out today as His Royal Highness plays The Dating Game in the 16th Century. And now, let's bring out our very special guest, folks. How about a really big hand for a even bigger monarch? Your Highness, it is an honor to have you on the show.
It's great to meet you too, Sir Jim.
I have to say, sire, you're a lot slimmer than I imagined you.
Well, Sir Jim, that might be because I'm not King Henry. Well, he's in mourning after all. You can't really expect him to personally look around for a wife now, can you?
Gee, I guess not.
I'm here to get the ball rolling, check things out first, get portraits made to send back home, praise His Royal Highness to the skies, etc., etc. That's me, Grimsby. I'm the ambassador.
I get you, Grimsby. Okay then, let's meet our 3 bachelorettes. Bachelorette number 1 is heiress to vast estates in France. She sings, she dances, she plays the lute with panache. Her cousin, the King of France, says she's a swell gal. Folks, let's give a big hand to Marie de Guise. Bachelorette number 2 is a recent widow looking for love again. Her father is the King of Denmark, and her uncle is the Holy Roman Emperor. She herself enjoys romantic candlelit suppers and long walks on the beach. Please welcome Christina, Duchess of Milan.
Grazie.
Bachelorette number 3 is the daughter of a German duke. She likes a good red wine, and her favorite hours of the day are spent feeding bonbons to her lapdog. Let's give a warm welcome to Anna of Cleves.
Dr. Sean.
Is that a dog? It looks like a rat on a leash.
Let's get to it. Grimsby, do you have your questions ready?
Yes, sir. My first question is for Marie de Guise. Actually, I'd like to start by admiring your stature, Miss de Guise. Just before I left England, my lord and master expressed his preference for a lady who wears plus sizes.
I might be a big woman, Mr. Grimsby, but I have a very little neck, if you get my meaning.
Guess that means you're not interested. I'd like to assure all the ladies here that my lord and master is really just an old softy, kind, gentle, still sleeps with his teddy bear, wouldn't hurt a fly. Why are you laughing, Duchess?
I beg your pardon, Signor. It was unforgivable to me. Please, continue.
For starters, what would you say to a marriage between you and Emperor's most loving husband?
Sir, if I had two necks, I would gladly let the King of England have one of them.
Isn't this going well?
Super. Lady Cleves?
Wer ist mein Hübscher?
Lady Cleves?
Sorry, what you want?
If you marry my lord and master, you will never want for splendid gowns, castles, river barges, doggy treats. What do you say?
Yeah, okay. Why not?
Isn't that romantic? Another happy couple brought together right here on The Dating Game in the 16th century. Best wishes, you young lovebirds. The wedding took place, and within a few months, Queen Anna was settled into life in England with her own ladies-in-waiting.
So, Your Highness, how do you like being married?
It's okay.
And how do you like His Majesty?
He's nice.
Just nice?
Well, he's not exciting, but he will make a good father.
Oh, my lady, are you expecting?
I think there is a good chance of it.
What wonderful news! How soon do you think you'll know for certain?
Well, for 2 months now, the king kisses me on the forehead every night before I go to bed. And every morning when I wake up, he kisses me again. So, I'm pretty sure.
A kiss on the forehead.
Is that all?
Sure, that's all. Isn't that enough?
Madam, there must be more.
More what?
More, or else there'll never be any babies.
Really? Huh. What else needs to happen?
Well,
The Queen's ladies-in-waiting attempted to set her straight.
Are you sure?
very.
Gosh.
And just why hadn't King Henry enlightened Anna of Cleves about the facts of life himself?
You sent for me, Your Majesty?
You better have a good explanation for this, Grimsby.
What are you talking about?
A so-called wife you've hitched me to. She's hideous.
Oh, but you saw her portrait. You loved it.
The painter must have been drunk. She's nothing like it.
You're exaggerating.
She's not my type.
Why not? She's cute.
She grinds her teeth in her sleep. She hums off key. She squeezes the toothpaste tube from the middle. She's always asking, "What are you thinking?" I can't stand living with her. And that dog. Oh, she insists on sleeping in the bed with us. It has big, nasty teeth, too. Look at my toes, for gosh sake. They're in shreds. You got me into this mess, and you're going to get me out.
No way.
Excuse me. I thought I was the king here. You'll do my bidding, or else your head will be next to roll.
I suppose it would be too much to hope that you've decided to remain single.
Please, can I help it if I'm a romantic?
So, if Henry wasn't enjoying wedded bliss with Anna of Cleves, the question is, who was he enjoying it with? Answer, Katie Howard, 15 years old and young enough to be Henry's granddaughter.
Don't we have laws against that kind of thing?
You'd think, but no.
Gosh.
As for the king, he was besotted.
Who is my little sugar lump?
Once again, the king found himself in the position of being married to one woman and in love with another. Even worse, he was not exactly aging gracefully, and falling in love with a teenager made him weight conscious. So Henry went on a strict diet.
Breakfast, half a grapefruit. Lunch, barley water and 2 celery sticks. Supper, a V8.
And took up a challenging exercise regime.
60 laps in the whirlpool every morning, jousting till noon, hunting in the afternoon, and jazzercise before bed.
Sire, don't you think you're overdoing it?
No, not at all. Feels great. Positively exhilarating.
Want your inhaler?
I thought you'd never ask.
Here you go. Well, I've secured Lady Anna's agreement to the divorce.
Excellent.
It didn't come cheap. I had to give her several estates.
Ugh, fine.
Reference to her in any legal document as your beloved sister.
That's a stretch, but I can live with it.
Alimony.
How much?
£3,000 a year.
3,000? Nope. Never mind. It's worth it.
And precedence over all ladies in the land, excepting the new queen and your daughters.
Ugh. You can make a dog premier pooch for all I care.
The wheels were now set in motion for the king's second divorce and fifth marriage. Continental Europe was abuzz.
Mamma mia! How many kings would the King of England have?
A question safe enough to ask from Italy, but a dangerous one to even whisper in England. King Henry was becoming increasingly defensive about his marital career.
Good Lord! How many wives will the king have anyway?
Off with his hand!
Henry's bad temper was made even worse by his failing health. Ulcers on his legs ruptured, causing fevers and an inability to walk.
Ew!
Not to mention his mood swings.
I brought you some chicken soup, Your Majesty.
Thank you, my dear. And what a sweet girl you are. My, it smells wonderful. Tasty. It reminds me of my mother's chicken broth. You're trying to kill me?
My lord, I'm sorry.
Going to arrest her!
I'm really sorry.
Off with her head!
As for Katie Howard, imagine what life with the king was like for her.
Your Majesty, here's the proposal for the York campaign.
Henry, will you play cards with me?
Not now, Kitty. We're drawing up plans to suppress the insurgents in the north.
But I'm like so bored.
Have you finished your homework?
I don't have any.
Uh-huh. Hey, you. Third groom in the left.
Sire?
What's your name?
Frankie Dareham, Your Majesty.
Frankie, play around with cards with the queen, please.
Okay.
What shall we play, Mr. Darahim?
Hearts.
Excellent. Off you go, young people. No betting, okay?
A sophisticated audience as yourselves can probably figure out what happened next. Secret letters between the king and Dareham flew fast and furious.
Dear Frankie, you send chills down my spine. You're the handsomest dude I ever met. Yours till the end of the world, Katie.
Dear Katie, you're the most awesome girl ever. If I could paint a picture, I would take your eyes and mesh them with the sunset, and it would reek of perfection. Love, Frankie.
And Henry was clueless.
Where's the queen?
I was at a concert with that Frankie kid. Seems they're both crazy for some newfangled instrument called the bagpipe.
I think it's the bagpipe, not a bagpipe.
Oh, whatever. Man, these kids and their music. I don't understand it. They're going to be deaf before they're 30.
Isn't the queen spending a lot of time with Dareham?
What are you getting at?
Oh, I'm not getting at anything. I'm just surprised you're not a little jealous is all.
Oh, come on. They're just kids. Innocent as lambs.
And dumb as sheep. That night, Frankie attempted to serenade the queen outside of her bedroom window.
Freeze, lover boy.
Yikes!
I arrest you in the name of the king.
How did you know?
Next time you secretly married a girl, or at the most a recorder.
As for the Queen Katie, there was no proof that she returned Daraham's affections. That is, until the royal cleaning staff found some damning evidence carved into Her Royal Highness's bedpost.
Queen Katie plus Frankie forever and ever.
Off with her head.
It took the tragedy of Katie Howard to make Henry swear off of romance. With his health worsening, he needed a caretaker far more than a sweetheart, and he resolved on taking his sixth wife, a widow of mature years, which in those days meant over 30. Meanwhile, Catherine Parr, a recent widow, was enjoying a moonlight stroll with a dashing courtier named Thomas Seymour.
How romantic this moonlight is. And smell the flowers.
Know ye not ye are the most beautiful flower here?
Thanks, Seymour. You're so sweet.
Catherine, my love, although your husband, God rest his saintly soul, just kicked the bucket inside yon very house, I hereby pledge my undying love and devotion to thee.
It'll be nice to have a real romance for a change. Let's get married as soon as decently possible.
I am so happy, and yet I feeleth a shadow over our happiness.
Speakest thou metaphorically, or do you mean that shadow over there by the sundial?
Oh, sorry, didn't mean to disturb you.
Grimsby, good grief, what are you doing here?
The king sends his condolence to Lady Parr on the death of her husband.
That's awfully nice of him.
Couldn't he just have sent a note?
Actually, I'm here because the king wants to see Lady Parr at court. He sends this ring as a token of his affection.
Oh no!
Oh no.
Yeah, sorry.
We just got engaged.
Boy, this is unusual. Barely a widow and then boom, 2 marriage proposals.
This is crazy.
Seymour, I swear to you truly, my mind was made up to marry ye before any other man, but the king's will must be obeyed. Farewell.
Shoot.
For 2 years, Catherine fussed over Henry in a manner that greatly pleased him. She was the only person who could calm his increasing irritability.
Heretics! Give him the rack!
Now, Henry, don't get too excited. Here, have this rice cake I made. I put low-fat peanut butter on it.
Thanks, dear.
The nobles, accustomed to the novelty of a new queen every year or two, grew restless.
How long do you think this one will last?
$20 pieces of gold says she courts out by the end of the year.
You are on.
Meanwhile, back at the castle.
What's that you're doing, sweetheart?
Oh, nothing much. Just writing a small book.
A book? Wow, that's great. What's it about? Can I read it?
Not yet. It's not done. How about a game of...
Sounds good.
Like her predecessor, Catherine Parr got tripped up by the cleaning lady, who found the book under her bed.
What's this? Royal woman. Darn choices.
A subversive expose on the marriages of the monarchy. In no time, the book made its way into Henry's hands. Things looked very bad for the Queen Catherine.
Your Majesty, open up quick.
What is it, Grimsby? What are you talking about?
Someone gave Henry your book.
Oh no.
Pack a few things. I've got a barge waiting at the dock.
Do you think if I just talk to Henry and...
Not a great idea. History is against you.
That's true. Just a second. I'll get my toothbrush.
Queen Catherine, open up in the name of the king.
It's too late. What do we do?
Make for the window.
My lady, the king is dead. Long live the king.
Say that again?
King Henry died in his sleep. His son, Edward, now takes the throne. Good luck, my lady.
That was close.
Sure was.
Poor Henry.
Yeah, I'm gonna kinda miss him, you know?
Hey, can I ask you something?
Sure.
Well, you're Henry's henchman. You've always been loyal to him. So tell me, why did you come here to warn me?
Oh, well, you're a nice person. I really like you.
Oh,
Yeah, I don't suppose when you're out of mourning.
Grimsby, I owe you my life, but I love Thomas Seymour.
I thought so. Guess you better go find him.
Thanks, Grimsby. You're the best. Well, bye.
Gee, I guess King Edward's gonna want a wife now. Think I've still got a list somewhere.
Thank you for joining us. I hope you've enjoyed King Henry VIII and his 6 wives. Until next time.